today is the beginning of spring, and it may be tempting to perhaps break in a new pair of sandals. However, some folks maybe want to try some moccasins. In this week's Northwoods Adventure, Shane Lee visits a moccasin workshop at the Mille Lacs Indian Museum.
Handmade leather shoes. It's not an Italian design. The Mille Lacs Indian Museum proudly presents the Ojibwe collection. Workshop participants learned how to make their own moccasins.
First they trace the outline of their foot so they have a good idea of how long that moccasin needs to be.
The second step involves drawing a pattern a proper distance from the edges of the footprint. Then a trial pattern is used to get an accurate fitting for the real moccasin.
Then you can cut out your pattern on real leather and end up with a basic moccasin.
Marcel Derosier participated in the mitten workshop in February and says making moccasins proves far simpler. The footwear requires fewer parts and is easier to finish with a proper size.
You're cutting at the heel and you generally have more left over. So if this were my foot, I would be cutting this down and then I'd match it to the curve.
While Derosier claims the moccasins are relatively easy, someone who did not attend the mitten workshop may have a different opinion.
I thought it would just be a really, really simple stitch, just going under and over and under and over. But now you have to go through it and then pull your string through. It's a lot harder.
Katie chose a bright teal color for her moccasins, but those with the traditional brown or red could spice things up with beads or decorative trim. The Ojibwe people started making center seam moccasins in the mid-1700s when they moved into the area. Later on, possibly in the early 1800s, they added the pucker toe moccasin, which was what was being made in the workshop. One participant signed up for the workshop to make her own moccasins to wear as a jingle dress dancer.
Not everyone speaks the languages still, and not everyone lives the same traditional way as we used to. So it's really important to keep the traditions alive because that's where the spirit of our people is.
Preserving a culture is important and sometimes comes with a cost. In this case, the health of a few digits.
The most surprising part was how many times I've pricked my fingers.
Even sore fingers can point out that these moccasins will be real fashion statements when they are finished. Shane Lee, Lakeland News.
If you've enjoyed this segment of Lakeland News, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution to Lakeland Public Television.